Hi, how are you guys all doing? My name is Tuan Lee. I'm a teacher volunteer with ETA4. I went to Biên Vietnam last year with ETA4. I'm from Colorado, so I unfortunately cannot be there physically with you all tonight, but I guess technology has done its job. So I wanted to start off by performing a spoken word piece for you, and then I will go on to talk about my experiences as a volunteer with ETA4. So here it goes. What makes you or me Vietnamese? Is it because you eat rice 7 days a week? Or perhaps because you have phenomenal chopstick technique? Do you get withdrawals if you don't get pho at least every other week? When you were growing up, you didn't have Lucky Charms for breakfast, but you did have gum jig, or instead of having ice cream for dessert, your parents whip out the sao ring. Maybe you're Vietnamese because your mom does nails. Maybe your dad does landscaping. And they expect you to become a doctor, a lawyer, a pharmacist, maybe a nuclear physicist, or whatever it is, as long as you make enough figures to add up to 6. Or maybe you're Vietnamese because when you go to the store and you ask your mom if she needs anything from Walmart, even though she know full well what you were talking about, if you just said Walmart. Or maybe you're Vietnamese because when you were young, your mom would haggle for something that was $35 down to $34.50, and you'd be like, "That lady? She's not related to me." But now, you probably do the same thing. Yeah, that might make you Vietnamese. But what truly makes us Vietnamese is that a lot of the time, our parents journeyed across the sea, 50 people packed like sardines with the chin to the knees in a fishing boat made for 15, withstanding any hardships that came their way so that they could seek a better life, not only for them, but for you and for me. And despite all the hardships our parents sometimes endured growing up, our biggest pet peeve was when our parents nagged us about doing our homework or getting good grades. But we come to understand that they wouldn't bother if they didn't care because they came here with nothing in their possession. So they see no reason why we shouldn't continue our trend of progression. Not so that we can make 6 figures to waste on lavish things, but for a purpose meaningful to every human being, which is to have a good life for you, so that you can have an opportunity to help others have a good life too. And that's what makes you and me Vietnamese. So, so I think that this poem is a reflection of not only what we do as ETA4 volunteers, but also what you have chosen to do by coming to this event. You know, we all have collectively made it a point to do what we can by using the resources that we've been privileged with in order to try and make some sort of difference in the lives of other people. In this case, we're going to Vietnam and Taiwan to teach English to those who can really benefit from it. And we really appreciate all of you taking the time to come and assist us with our mission. Because without that kind of support, we really would not be able to do what we do. So volunteering with ETA4 was truly one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be able to go back and do it again this summer. Just seeing the effect of the program the effect the program has on our students, it's truly mind-blowing. By the same token, though, we as volunteers can learn so much from our students as well. Something that has stuck with me from my last trip to Vietnam and Bien Hoa was when I was talking to my students about the weather in Colorado and how it can sometimes be as low as negative 26 degrees Celsius or negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit for us silly American folk, I guess. But I kept saying, you know, trừ 26 độ, which is minus 26 degrees. And the students kept repeating and responding every time I said trừ 26 độ, they would say I'm 26, I'm 26. And I was confused. I had no idea what they were talking about. What's and I kind of took me a while, but I finally figured out that I was using the wrong word for negative. Instead of negative, I was saying minus. That's something I grew up using over here, and I didn't really know the real word for negative. Um, so it seems like a pretty trivial experience, but all of those little moments really add up, and I left having learned so much from my students, and that was just one of the examples of that. And that's definitely not limited to or restricted to simply the language. Going abroad and experiencing new things and meeting new people, seeing new sights, immersing ourselves in the local culture as I experienced it also helped me grow as an individual. So, sure, we are the volunteers who are teachers going abroad, but I would suggest that we learn just as much as our students, if not more, by being volunteers with ETA4. So, I mean, it's quite the arrangement if you ask me. We got to meet amazing children, play sports with them, and they, at the same time, learn English by playing sports, singing song, reciting poetry, making art. So, of course, I can't forget the fact that it was a whole lot of fun doing what we did, and what we're going to do will be a lot of fun this summer as well. So, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to come to the dinner and watching my video, and I hope you enjoy your dinner and the rest of the night. So, have a good one, and thank you again.